think I'm going the right way. What's up? What's up? Hello? Hello? How you doing? How late are you guys open today? Okay. Do you have the order for Brown ready to go yet? Kwame. And the contractor who called it in was Jake, so it might be up under Jake's name. Starts with a C. I don't know how to say it. It's colleague something. Yeah. Just some landlord shit, y'all. Landlord shit. Okay, I'll be there in like 20 minutes. Okay. Okay. How the hell you telling me it closed at 5 if I said I would be there in 20 minutes? Kwame, you such a grandpa? Yep. Sure is. I wish I had my goddamn on shade. Man, this sun, I can't see nothing. Let me put my work shades on. Damn, I can't see nothing with those. Colored people time. I was on my other live. I apologize and I'm sorry. Oh, let me go to this history real quick. Oh, I'm driving on the back road, and let me cut my camera off so y'all don't look me in my eyes. Let me go find the history, cause man, we got a lot to talk about. I'm talking about it's crazy out here, B. They say Charlie Kirk got popped. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy, B. Look what the young bulls out there saying in Chicago. I saw this on Anton Daniels. Look what the young bulls out there saying.
Well, y'all talking about Mariah DeSantis. The fuck, shawty? Oh, yeah, they outside for real.
You know, I don't claim to know everything, but I do know this. Chicago is not DC. Mark my words, Chicago is not DC. I have been there. I know these people, and Chicago is not DC. This is going to be a shit show.
The National Guard is now officially in Chicago, Illinois. Now, there's a lot of videos floating around. I've seen videos, they got YNs on rooftops.
Hey, Russell said, "What's up, KB? Get your funny looking self off camera, giraffe neck. But shout out to your player. Keep grinding. A salute to your home skillet. Hey, man, you just jealous because you ain't got no neck, man. It ain't my fault. No neck, no teeth. It's rough. What's up, player? That ain't me, dog. I got a neck and teeth. Salute to you. Yeah, man, we gotta pray for Charlie Kirk, man. Charlie Kirk got shot at a college where you're supposed to be able to have diversity of thought. Now these colleges are gonna lose their federal funding. You're not supposed to get shot at no college.
And all I'm saying is, our military nowadays, it ain't like back in the day. You have to understand, from what we're hearing out here, these soldiers can't even do 20 push-ups. These soldiers, they look.
They gonna be shooting 223s at you, 50 cals. It don't matter if they can do no push-ups or not. So I don't even know. It ain't gonna be no push-up contest, and it don't even look like you could do 20 push-ups. How this bony nigga calling out how many push-ups somebody else could do? First of all, I didn't know they was gonna have a push-up contest. I didn't know they was gonna put down them machine guns and start doing push-ups. I didn't know they were gonna put down them drones and start doing push-ups when y'all got switches. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were gonna drop down and do 50.
Look flimsy. So all I'm saying is, y'all keep it peaceful. I don't want to hear nobody got hurt. And y'all stay your ass in the house, man.
Chicago's in fucking shambles right now.
I don't know what people think that this is, or if they think that the Trump administration is playing games or bluffing or just making a show or trying to show force. And
Y'all go watch the rest of it on Anton Daniels. I don't know what they think it is either, but all I do know is they gonna fall right into a trap. Because once you do something to military personnel, that's an act of war, and they are designed to protect enemies against foreign and domestic. And if they label you as a domestic terror group, boy, what they can open up and do to you. You ever been waterboarded? Them people can take you out your doggone house in the middle of the night, zip tie you, beat you down, give you something to make you forget what happened to you, chip you, allegedly, I think I snapped, chip you and then put you back together. Now let's talk about this wretched slug that just made the whole world about to have to get the whole world of black people because of this one idiot black guy right here who stabbed a cute white girl on the train. I don't want to make this sound any less egregious than what it was because somebody lost their life and nobody even tried to help this lady. We living in a society to where we so desensitized to crime that we either gonna pull out our phone or mind our business when somebody leaking out. Ladies, make sure you don't try not to go out by yourself no more. Cause boy, if you don't have no protection with you, these doggone people will watch you bleed to death and won't even call an ambulance. They'll rather film it than call the police. We live in a society that'll rather film it than get you help. We don't live in a society no more that watch you take a good beating. Even if you start the fight, they'll watch you take a good beat down. And at the time where you done had enough, it ain't no more fight in you. It ain't nobody that's gonna say, hey man, stop. That's enough. That's enough. Stop. They not gonna do that. They'll watch them beat you, unalive you, and then brag about it. And it'll be people justifying it over words. Now they say Charlie Kirk lost his life. That's a shame. That is a shame. Somebody who ain't gonna harm nobody physically lost his life because of the words that he said out of his mouth in a country that always tell everybody they have a freedom of speech. You have a freedom of speech until you offend somebody that think that you don't deserve to speak. Because it's a whole group of people that think you don't deserve to speak. To hell with your freedom to speech and their opinion. They think you're not smart enough to talk. They don't think you're smart enough to understand or formulate the right words. So they think it's open season on anything that happened to you. So my condolences to his family. And may God rest his soul. That's a shame. And imagine this could happen to anybody over words. And I thought we were supposed to have police at these college campuses. How did this man get unalive on his campuses? You go on those campuses, you better take your own private security. Because probably some of these police officers probably don't like what you're saying either. In some of these liberal states. What in the world is this about? Uh-oh. Man, hold up, man. I got to make me a phone call. And I think they about to turn left. Whew. Okay, they turning left. The ghost is clear. Jesus Christ. Let me play the video. I'm over here shaking like booty meat right now, boy. The ghost is clear.
In former Assistant FBI Director Chris Swecker. And let's pick it up where Pam Bondi left off. Do you think the feds will actually be able to establish jurisdiction in this case? Because I still think that's a little bit of an open question. And if so, if they are able to establish jurisdiction over a mass transit system, how far could the Trump administration go in going after mass transit crime in all of our cities?
Yeah, I mean, they did manage to sort of shoehorn a federal crime into this scenario, and I applaud them for that because look, I live in Charlotte. I chaired the crime commission in North Carolina. I'm a former assistant DA. I see a broken system here in Charlotte, particularly when it comes to accountability in the area of prosecutions of all kinds of crimes. So, you know, federal statutes have teeth. When you get sentenced, you'll do every single day of your sentence. It's stricter sentencing. It's more longer sentences in federal court, more competent prosecution in federal court. So I applaud that. They may have to wait in line for the local prosecution, but this ensures that none of those sort of blue state progressive soft on crime policies will come into play here. And I think after this incident, Charlotte's going to have to do some introspection and understand why their homicide rate has doubled since 2019.
Yeah, and Charlotte's mayor actually on that point scored a primary re-election victory yesterday amid all of this. So on a political note, something to point out there. And when it comes to the preventable nature of this, Chris, I mean, that's one of the most horrific things about this is that this didn't need to happen because he could have been in jail at the time of this killing, but a judge decided to let him walk free. We had a Charlotte City Council member.
And here's where it gets tricky, because now that I got my brain back, yeah. But anyway, this is a tricky subject because the family allegedly of this man reported him as a danger. So his own mother reported him allegedly as a danger. So this brother should not have been on the street. He should have already been behind bars. But because they mentally evaluate you and then they turn you loose. And then if a person don't want to be there, they don't have to stay there. So there's a lot of people that have family members that you might commit them. You might want them to get help. But if they don't want to stay there, they don't have to stay there. And it's a lot of dangerous people that's walking the streets that probably should not be walking the streets. But they, this is a gray area that they gotta, I think, figure something out with. Because the only time they're gonna do something about it really is when they unalive someone. Salute, Miss Collins. Russ said them YNs talking out the side of their neck like the National Guard ain't got them YNs finna get Molly Wop, but I got my popcorn. Salute, man. I'm trying to read and drive. But yeah, there's some YNs in the military now. But this dude there's two things that just happened that's gonna get new laws put in place. They're gonna put some way stricter laws on younger people. Because they got a loophole that people are taking advantage of with these young folks, and now they got data that back it up. And once the powers that be get the data that they need, and once they see you taking advantage of a loophole, then they come down with harsh punishment, boy. And they see that the data done show that the criminals are using these teenagers at like little missiles. So they're gonna come back with juvenile life. They're going to come back with locking these kids up to a certain age. Watch. and it's gonna be bad on some of these this upcoming generation of YNs. It's gonna be bad on them because they finna come down with that hammer, that Thor hammer coming down, and they finna come down on that Thor hammer with crime alone. Cashless bails, that's gonna go away because it sounds good in theory. You know, somebody get in trouble. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you get in trouble. I think it's stupid that you gotta wait and you gotta try to hurry up and sit in jail for 2 years until you figure out if you did it or not. Then if you didn't do it, you just get let go. What about the last 2 years of your life? What about your wife done probably been with your friend? You know what I mean? What about all the things you miss out on? So it makes sense to have no cashless bails for law-abiding citizens who make a mistake or two. But you can't even do that now because people will mess up a good thing. They always want to mess up a goddamn good thing. He said, "Oh my God, I just saw Charlie Kirk's footage. He ain't surviving that." Dang, I ain't get to see it. I dang sure ain't gonna play it on here until somebody play it that or fit the copyright. I mean, or fit the YouTube guideline. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna play it and show you YNs, man. That see what I'm saying? Salute to you, Francis Green, member for 30 Monk. And listen here, man. I want y'all YNs to know, man. You know, just because I'm an old country nigga, sometimes I be having that cash too. Now I be having that money on too. Now I can spread it out. But see, when I have it, I'm going to pay for something, and I'm gonna go get rid of it. But I be having them stacks too now. Y'all young niggas ain't the only one be having those stacks of money on now. I just know what to spend my shit on. My shit go to metal. You know what I mean? And I don't like to have this shit around me at all. I just don't like to pay 3% on my credit card. Yeah, I don't like to pay 3% on my credit card. All right. Yeah, I sure don't. There's a close-up video from a few feet away. My money go on responsibilities. Mine too. Mine going on the roof. All they see is what? I have no respect for saying they're savage. I can't help you this time, cuz. Man, hey, listen, man. I'm a real one, man. Let me go into Century Metal. Pay for this metal. I think I can leave my phone right here. My Wi-Fi should keep going. Let me see if I can keep playing this.
On yesterday talking about why the judge decided to do that. Listen here.
It's all based off each individual case. And in the case of Mr. Brown, our understanding was that it was on a very minor infraction that they were trying to obviously get him and seek more help. So each one is situation by situation. No judge anywhere is going to ever think that they're going to release somebody like this.
Yeah, so what he's saying there is a judge decided to let him go with a written promise to attend his trial at a later date because he was being held at the time on a relatively minor charge without failing to look at the totality of his criminal record. So how about that, Chris? What about changing that and ensuring judges look at the whole criminal record before letting somebody go?
Yeah, it seems so obvious. You know, you shouldn't have to codify it in a law. that you have to look at the 14 offenses that this guy had been involved in. He was a career criminal. And look, I think everybody's getting tired of this deer in the headlights attitude when there are mental health issues involved. This is not the first time this guy's committed violent crimes, and there are throughout his previous incidents, his own mother, his own attorney begged the court system to put him into a mental health program, to get him evaluated, to get him into, in a situation where he was incarcerated while receiving mental health, care, and not be a danger to the public on a transit system like this. I mean, this is not the first time somebody has come up behind a passenger in this particular transit system and stabbed them. This has happened before. I just watched the video of it. So, the shame on the whole system here. As you mentioned, Carly, this was entirely a preventable incident. This metro rail system, this light rail system, as the U.S. Attorney said yesterday, is a rolling homeless shelter. And you have to have your head on a swivel when you get on this light rail system. I have 3 daughters. I would never let them ride this metro rail system here in Charlotte.
Chris, on the judge, quickly, all 10 GOP House members from North Carolina signed a letter pushing for removal of this magistrate judge who released the suspected killer like you just discussed. How tough will it be to kick her off the bench?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty tough. I mean, clearly she's incompetent, and I think she has some business interests in rehab, some sort of rehab facility, which I wonder if it isn't a conflict of interest there. So I think I think that they report her to judicial standards in North Carolina, at least there'll be an investigation and they can reveal what's going on here, because magistrates they're the first line of defense, if you will, in the judicial system. They're the ones that set bond. They see these people when they're first brought in.
Hey, y'all, I just saw that footage of Charlie Kirk. Jesus Christ, we got to pray for his family, man. I think it's over too, boy. In the neck. Man, that's crazy.
They make the decision as to whether they're going to go right back out on the street again. And too often that's exactly the case. They're right back out on the street. The DA's office shares some responsibility because they clearly have established these soft on crime policies: no cash bail, no prosecution of drug offenses, minimal prosecution of misdemeanors and low-level felonies. And that's the breeder ground for career criminals. If you don't get them in the system and get the worst of the worst incarcerated, crime is just going to go through the roof, which it has.
Yeah.
And it's irrefutable that once you get police officers on the street and do aggressive prosecutions, crime will go down.
When somebody tells you who they are, you believe them. And this guy told us who he was 14 times over. Also, Chris, when it comes to crime, President Trump and several cabinet members went out to dinner last night in Washington, D.C. This is the first time the president went out to dinner in D.C. during his second term. And it comes, of course, amid his crime crackdown. So here's what the president had to say before heading into the restaurant.
We're going to be announcing another city that we're going to very shortly. We're working it out. We'll announce it probably tomorrow. And it's going to be something where we'll do like we did here. But this city, here I am standing out in the middle of the street. I wouldn't have done this 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I certainly wouldn't have done it a year ago. This was one of the most unsafe cities in the country. Now it's as safe as there is in the country.
So how important is it to see the president out on the streets of Washington, D.C.? And what do you think about that upcoming announcement of going into another city?
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah. Did y'all see it? Yeah, they in my chat saying that they saw it.
Yeah.
That footage I wish I didn't see it now.
I know.
Man.
Bad.
That footage was so bad, I wish I didn't see it, y'all.
Yeah.
They gonna definitely send the National Guard now, boy, everywhere.
Utah ain't nothing but a bunch of Mormons out there. I mean, what?
Boy, they gonna send the National Guard everywhere. They go in every city.
I disagree with all that too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they making it worse for themselves.
It's gonna be hard to send the National Guard. He can connect things with white people. Think about it.
But if you do stuff like that, they got to treat you like a terrorist organization. And once they do you like that, once they deem you that, it opened them up to all type of rights.
And it was just, I'll show you the dude, man.
Yeah, they're not gonna win that battle once they deem him as a terrorist group.
Let's see here.
At the college giving a speech too. That's what's worse. That
had just started.
Because both sides have got to be against that. That's gonna be bipartisan. They gotta say it's gonna be law and order everywhere now, boy. We might go into lockdown. To get me some canned goods.
Nah, the thing, dude, it's whack. It's whack.
Because you can't let that go. You can't let that slide. Because once it start happening to people that you like, then you're gonna realize you just started something that you shouldn't have started.
People got to understand, man. You can disagree.
Yeah.
So you can't even load X. Since I done showed you that, X done shut it down. Like I search the name now.
Yeah.
X ain't pulling up nothing.
Man, that was too graphic.
Yeah, because he's like, I can't even. Yeah. See, that says post aren't loading right now. X done took it down. And just that quick from the time I showed you.
This man got kids, everything that everybody else got. Just disagree like an adult.
Yeah, I mean, why can't people just disagree?
They done made the world too. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Man, I'll give you some research to look up. Let me tell you real quick. I looked into it. Look up the Kent State shooting, May 1970.
Okay.
Man, who is it?
Okay.
I'll be right with you. One more moment. May 5th, 1970. That's when university students protesting Vietnam. National Guard fucked up, fired on the crowd. And one died, 8 or 9, 7 to 9 got shot. That sparked the one and only student protest. In the coming weeks, you had like 100,000 people on Pennsylvania Avenue. But over the 6 weeks, you had 400 universities coast to coast that shut down because students protesting what went on at Kent State. We're talking about less than a decade removed from desegregation. And look at the unity people had back then in 1970 to come and stand up for the cause, saying, hey, you can't do this to us, to the government. And they saw right then what it did, and you ain't had one since.
It's going to be a problem now, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they ain't no place for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even as divisive as you are, just don't give it none of your attention.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way for it not to piss you off.
Yeah, I just don't look at it.
That's it. But yeah, man, you know, Drew,
Maybe
actually, they've got yours on.
I mean, look, we remember the crack epidemic in the 90s, and they were that, you know, those drug crimes led to just a complete crime wave across the country. Neighborhoods were destroyed. And Bill Bratton up in New York City, the commissioner of police, instituted this or implemented this accountability system that, you know, where precincts were held accountable for driving crime rates down in their particular precinct. And that worked, and it spread across the country. And crime rates, which had spiked through the roof, went down. And the theory is aggressive, proactive policing and proactive prosecutions, targeting the worst of the worst, getting them off the streets and incarcerated, will drive crime rate down. Visible policing, proactive prosecutions. And I proved it when I was at Bank of America, when I was head of security there. If you put an armed guard outside a bank, it didn't get robbed. They might rob some other bank, but we were trying to step up the security around us. And it's proven. It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
And then if something bad does happen, you immediately prosecute it, like they're doing in D.C. through the federal court system, not the local court system.
Broken windows policing. If you target the small crimes, the big ones don't happen. It just makes so much sense. Chris Wecker, thank you for joining us this morning. It's great to see you. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brad.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be some strict laws now that people are that sensitive. Two things just happened. You done killed unalive attractive white woman, which you know what they do when you unalive a white woman, especially an attractive one, out of nowhere. Then somebody done unalive Charlie Kirk, and then it started off with them beating up Big Balls, Paul. So that's 3 white people in a row that just got unalive. And you add somebody as visible as Charlie Kirk, boy, look at here. It's gonna be some laws and rules and laws and rules and laws and rules, boy. Cause they done made people too sensitive. You can't just move on. You can't just say, you know what? I don't agree with you. I'm not gonna consume whatever you put out, and I'm gonna move on. We got everybody now got to continue telling people what they like and don't like. So that's terrible. That is terrible. And let's look at this one right here, because the CNN panel said race don't matter about that situation. About this same situation. I was watching it on hold on, y'all. I was watching it on Black Conservative Perspective. And I can't even get the doggone. I just paid for it, but I can't get the dang on towel on here. Oh, shit. Somebody's behind me. I didn't even know. They were just sitting and waiting, patient. But so Charlie Kirk gave his opinion on this part, and then he ended up being unalive right after this. So this is, or allegedly unalive. We don't know officially, but from what I just saw, Lord have mercy. If he make it through that, boy, it looked like it hit an artery. It looked like it wasn't nothing but blood just gushing. So, dang. I wish I didn't even see that joint. But that's what they want for people that don't agree. That's crazy. You got to be now that's some animalistic stuff right there. That's when you go to lawlessness, when you start allowing stuff like that to happen. That's when the other side start retaliating, and that's when you have people just being vigilant. You don't want to do that. That's not going to be a good thing.
This is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests.
That I hope the family won't mind me sharing, but after Irina's death, the embassy in Ukraine called and said,
we'll help you bring her home. And her family said no. They said she loved America. We're going to bury her here. So I think we can give her an America to be proud of. As Mr. Barnacle said, something here is broken, and we're here to fix it. We're happy to take your questions.
All right, guys. So we got to follow up on our coverage of the mainstream liberal media reacts Arena light rail.
The just on this video in the Red Hood, federal charges against DeCarlos Brown Jr. That is, of course, the man seen on this video in the red hoodie before stabbing the Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska to death on that Charlotte transit train. Brown is being charged with one count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. In a statement, the Attorney General Pam Bondi has said, I have directed my attorneys to federally prosecute DeCarlos Brown Jr., a repeat violent offender with a history of violent crime for murder. We will be speaking, they will be seeking, Pam Bondi says, the maximum penalty for the unforgivable act of violence. He will never again see the light of day as a free man if convicted. Brown faces a maximum statutory sentence of life in prison or death. Just absolutely heartbreaking. As I mentioned earlier, you can't go anywhere right now on your computer without seeing this horrific video, unfortunately.
And that's sad, man. You can't even, this young lady didn't do nothing to nobody. This is when you know they gonna come with stricter laws. And look at where our society have gone to where nobody helped this lady. Nobody even noticed that she got stabbed. Like, we living in a society in a day and time that can happen to anybody. It's people out there blaming the woman for being on her phone. Because this type of unaliving don't fit a narrative. And it's sad that our media is nothing but a bunch of narrative creators. We already in metaverse. Because if this was the other way around, this would be all over America. This would be #1 national news. White men are the worst men in the world. We're the terrorist groups. We would have been fanning the flames of racism. Would have been trying to make it like this was the 1920s again. Black women, if that was a black woman, she would have been memorialized and put up on a pedestal as the most unprotected. And we would have been hearing this every day on CNN, on everything. They would have stopped traffic. There would have been people laying in the middle of the street. It would have been twerking. It would have been all kind of shit going on. But because this don't fit the narrative, you know, and I think this is what's going to make this is what's causing this black fatigue narrative, because the media and nobody calls out behavior. We're not only watching a group of people that have to sit back and watch they people get their ass whipped because of the things that some people did in the past. They're allowing you to whip their ass, trust me, because they're worried about optics and being called racism or racist. But they got this thing coming called fatigue. And once that fatigue button go down to 0 and they stop caring about what the optics look like and what the cameras look like, it's going to be some problems. Y'all are not watching behavior, and anybody that can agree with this type of behavior just because you a certain color or whatever else, I think that's going to end up being your problem. It's going to end up being your own grave. That thugger thing better teach a lot of people a lot of lessons. That evil that's in you is going to destroy you. You better start treating people the way you want to be treated. Nobody should be treated like that. Nobody. So thinking that it's cool for somebody to just get stabbed just because they white, or as some type of payback or whatever whatever some people be thinking, I think that's crazy. I think you just as crazy as the racist mother truckers, because that could be your sister. I would not want that to be my sister. Even though me and my sister don't even see eye to eye right now, I still would not want that to be my sister. I wouldn't want that to be my aunt. Sitting on a train and get unalive coming home from work. Nobody should want or be cheering on a society like that. And the fact that the media don't call it out, I think that's whack, because it's causing some resentment, and rightfully so. It's going to cause white people to start having some sort of resentment. Like, y'all don't even call these motherfuckers out on nothing. So that's what's causing that fatigue. You better start calling out bad behavior. Fuck what somebody color is, what they identify with, who they sleep with. I've been saying it for the last 4 or 5 years. I watch behavior. I don't care about nothing else. We are getting away with some behaviors that you can't continue a society like that. You're joining groups to make yourself seem like a victim, to have the worst set of behavior. So I think it'd take away all the confusion if you just watch behavior. Hold up.
And this young woman, as Caroline Levitt said at the White House press briefing just a short time ago, her death was preventable. And so many of these cities have to take a look within at how they're addressing crime, and especially those with a rap sheet like he had. I mean, those 14 mugshots stand out over a decade of arrests. This man should have never been walking the streets.
Yeah, those mugshots say it all, don't they? And Sandra, you're not kidding. I mean, I was just scrolling on X 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
My entire feed is that video right now and people talking about it. It's going even more viral today, it feels like. And I've got the Fed stepping in, essentially saying, we're going to charge this at the federal level. This guy's never going to see the light of day again as they continue to torch local policies in Democrat-run cities. They apparently don't want a local judge to have control of this case, so they're going to handle it federally.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about possible motives behind this. At least initially, it seemed as if this was some talking about possible
want a local judge to have.
She not even from here. And there's some white lawmaker like, oh, hell no. I know they didn't kill something look like that. I'm telling you, it's finna be some strict laws.
Control of this case, so they're going to handle it federally.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about possible motives behind this. At least initially, it seemed as if this was some act of violence that happened due to this individual having some issues. However, we're getting footage to suggest that maybe, just maybe, there's more going on to exactly why she was targeted. Why did this lunatic choose to randomly attack this woman? Now, it seems as if, based off the new footage that has been released, that this could have been racially motivated, that this individual could have targeted this girl because she was white. Because after the stabbing, after this lunatic finished stabbing her in the neck, he was caught on camera saying, I got that white girl. I got that white girl as he was walking away from the scene. Take a look.
Oh my goodness. He said, I got that white girl? Oh, fuck. Oh, Lord. Goodness gracious. Boy, I couldn't imagine what would happen in the streets right now if a white guy unalived a black woman and walked through a train and said, I got that black girl. I got that black girl. Ooh. It's almost seemed like that somebody got him to do this. It's so random. Is the military doing this mind control stuff on people? Is it the ADHD medicine? What is it that's making so many random acts that don't make no sense? And if everybody, all these middle-aged men are coming up with mental illness, has he ever been on Ritalin in school as a kid or any one of these type of behavioral drugs? We got to try to figure out what the link is to so many of these middle-aged men, especially black men, becoming mental ill in life. I believe there's a theory that I have. I believe it's connected to that medicine that they give these children. I would love to see somebody smart that went to Harvard or Yale. They probably ain't gonna tell the truth, but at least take the time to do the research and see if there's anything that's linked to the medicines that they're giving these children. Because there got to be a side effect. What are those side effects? Just study the side effects. That's all I want to know. Any medicine that you create has some sort of side effect. I want to know.
Yeah. So again, there are real questions about whether or not this was racially motivated. Okay. And I want to react to the CNN panel who got triggered by this idea that a black man killing a white woman could have been a racially motivated hate crime, right? This is what they're triggered by on CNN. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Voters, once they call attention to it.
So certain people have been looking for an opportunity to find a case like this, to make a point like this. I want to play, this is Charlie Kirk, why he says this hasn't gotten a lot of attention.
A white Ukrainian refugee was murdered just because she was white. Everybody knows that, obviously. If a random white person simply walked up to and stabbed a nice law-abiding black person for no reason, it would be an apocalyptically huge national story used to impose national sweeping political changes on the whole country. Instead, Megan Basham, no one seems to care when a white woman gets stabbed to the death.
Wow. He said white a lot.
Well, we are talking about it here. So I guess I don't think that's fair. Look, being in the system, because I have represented people who are mentally ill. And here's the balance. The balance is taking away people's freedom versus evaluating their mental illness. In New York City, there are a lot of programs for people who are mentally ill, but they have to want to be there.
And it's
about forcing them to be there.
When you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of these people, again, should be forced into these mental institutions, right? At this point, right? I don't actually care about how they feel. If you can't be a productive citizen within our society, it doesn't matter for what reason, then yeah, you need to be walled off, right? You need to be in some other corner away from society, right? It doesn't matter because, again, you can't operate, you can't function with everybody else, and everybody else should not have to suffer because of empathy, right? Because we want.
And again, that might sound harsh, but that's a gray area that people, even family members, don't know what to do in that gray space. Because just think about it, there's a lot of people with mental illness that get taken advantage of. There's a lot of females that have mental illness and they end up having lots of babies because they can't take care of themselves and they can't really consent. People have sex with these women and they end up having children that goes into the system. It's a big cycle of mental illness, mentally ill women and people that get taken advantage of every single day. And those are the people in society that get overlooked. We would rather see them in a facility than out here roaming the streets for people to take advantage of. So, if you ask me,
to allow people who, for whatever reason, okay, whether that be, again, mental illness or in this case, who knows, maybe racially motivated, probably both, to be honest with you. That's what I'm thinking at this point, right? So again, you have these people who are prone to committing these acts of violence. We know that this person was prone to doing it because of the fact that this person went to jail for violence, okay? Also, this person has been accused of beating on family members. This person's mom kicked him out of the house, presumably because he's too violent, right? So we knew this. But a judge decided to let this person continue to walk free, knowing that he was mentally ill, right? And that is the problem. The problem is that, again, we have too much empathy and we don't use enough common sense to protect the 99%, right? We're too busy trying to make sure we don't hurt the feelings of the 1%, the people who, again, can't function within our society, that we put the rest of society, law-abiding citizens, at risk because of those people, and it doesn't make sense.
But also, I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, Van, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation. And that's the part that I think he's almost giving away the game. And it's sad to see a lot of people going along with it.
You know, let me just say a couple of things. One is, I mean, what happened to that young woman was horrible. And it's everybody's nightmare. If you're in any public space, a subway, whatever, that something bad is going to happen to you or somebody you care about. So it does strike a chord. We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering.
Well, Van John, he did mention the word white girl. So, I mean, come on now. He said the word white girl, Van John. Damn. See why they gave you $100 million.
Hate mongering, it's wrong. Then he says that if something like that had happened the other way, there would be sweeping changes imposed on society. Where is the George Floyd Policing Act? It didn't pass. Even when you had a white police officer murder a black man on live television, the whole world saw, there were no sweeping changes. In fact, not one law.
So are you just admitting that black lives don't matter and that they use black people? Because the Democrats was in power and they could have been passed the George Floyd Act. So are you admitting that the Democrats use you for your emotions? Because why didn't they pass it? What's taking so long for the George Floyd Act to pass? There have been changes, but no, that act didn't get passed. But you kind of exposing Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and all the people that claim they love black people. They were in office and they didn't pass a damn thing. So now you want to point it out that Trump is in office? Remember, he don't like black people. So why would he pass something on some people that he don't like? Joe Biden's supposed to like you. Kamala Harris was supposed to like you. Why didn't they pass it? I'll wait. You just told on yourself, Van Jones. The very same people were in power that could have passed this act that everybody was riding in the street over. How come y'all couldn't pass the vote? You blame that on Trump too? Gotcha.
Was passed at the federal level. So I think that's important thing to point out.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if Van Jones actually saw that part of the video where this guy is saying, I got that white girl. I don't know. But to say there's no evidence that this was racially motivated, it's just false, right? It's false, right? That video in and of itself proves that there was a racial motivation behind it, at the very least. Now, again, what triggered him, okay, to stab her in the neck? Was it simply because of her race? That's it? He just wanted to kill a white girl? I don't know. Maybe, right? Or maybe he was just a crazy person and her race had something to do with it. It was a factor. Regardless, what I do know is that if the roles were reversed, if a white man had stabbed a black woman in the neck in what appeared to be a random act of violence on a public transportation, and then there was footage that came out of the white man walking around saying, I got that black girl, or better yet, I got that N-word, in the case of this individual who said, I got that white girl. I mean, to me, that almost seemed like a racial slur, right? Let's be real, the way he used it, right? Because he clearly used it in a derogatory way. So if you had a situation where a white man stabs a black woman in the neck and then turns around and says, I got that black girl, first and foremost, that would be acknowledged by the media, right? That clip has not been acknowledged by the media, but they wouldn't even need that to say that it was racially motivated. They would say, oh, well, this is what black women have to deal with, right? Being a black person, every day you got to wake up and worry about your life being taken away by some white person, right? You got to worry about being killed because of racism. This is what they said. This is what they told us about black men being killed by white police officers, right? Even though, again, that is extremely rare in this country, statistically speaking, rare, right? Rare, okay? They put out the narrative that this is something that black people have to be worried about. Now that the tables have turned, okay, and you have a situation where a white woman is subject to this type of violence from a black person, now all of a sudden, they don't want to have a race conversation. Now all of a sudden, they want to forget about identity. Identity doesn't matter anymore, right? Ain't it similar to what we just saw with the Minneapolis Christian school shooting that was done by a transgender individual? How they didn't want to talk about the individual being trans. Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that. But before they knew that the individual was trans, when they knew that the individual was a white male, you had individuals like Rosie O'Donnell. The first thing she wanted to talk about, see, this is another white man, a white male Trump supporter committed another mass shooting, right? It's always them, okay?
And see, that's what people getting tired of. They're getting tired of that selective politicking. They're getting tired of outrage on one side. They're getting tired of violence that seemed to be okay from one side, from one way. They're getting tired of that shit, I'm telling you. And when they start exchanging, hey, it is what it is.
This is what they do when it fits the narrative. They have zero issues whatsoever talking about race, talking about identity, saying that this is a hate crime, is race, regardless of whether or not there's actually evidence, okay, of racism or hate crime, right? In this situation, there's actually evidence. The guy is on the trade saying, I got that white girl. I got that white girl. All I know is that if the situation was reversed, if the roles were reversed, it would be undisputable that this was a hate crime, according to the media, right? So if we're going to hold everybody to the same standard, then we should be seeing some hate crime charges. If we're holding everybody to the same standard, right? If we know that that's what would happen, if the roles were reversed, then in this situation, hate crime charges are warranted. But again, just notice how when the narrative doesn't fit, they don't like talking about identity. All of a sudden, identity goes out the window. They don't want to talk about race anymore. This is the race conversation they don't want to have, right? This is the only race conversation they don't want to have. Any other day of the week, any other story, they're ready to have the race conversation, right? They're ready to talk about it. And we already know there's going to be a situation where they will be willing to talk about it. It's going to happen, right? And all you will hear about is white supremacy, white nationalism, white man, right? But when it's a white victim, no. He said white a lot, right? Why is he bringing up the fact that she's white, right? What does it have to do with anything, according to CNN, right? But again, white supremacy, white nationalism, white male, oh, they're all over that, right? They're all over it. They're totally fine. You would never hear anybody on CNN complaining about somebody using the word white too much when you're talking about a situation where the narrative fits. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Other thing is, you mentioned the thing about cashless bail. I think this is a big challenge that we have. Would you have felt better if there had been cash bail?
What do y'all think about that? Did he make a good point on that? I think he made a great point. I think every point he made, he was spot on. They definitely would have been way more outraged if it's the other way. Yeah, it definitely would have been way more outrage. They just act like it don't matter. This nonchalant attitude against violence, this open season seemed like violence against white folks. And we highlight it one way, but they don't highlight it the other way. They just act like it don't exist. Because we know dang on well that if a black woman would have got harmed on a train in that manner, boy, it'd have been loud. It'd have been loud, loud, loud. Now, you mean to tell me that a white woman get killed on a train and it's not everywhere? Not everywhere talking about it? Oh, I just hope they start just, making it easy. KB about to join the army after this, people. Why would I join the army? I'm 43. That's pretty dumb. I'm not about to join no army. I just understand what happens when you don't call things out on both sides. It's going to build tension and resentment towards a group of people that you don't really want that resentment built towards you. Everybody try to sound pro-black on the internet. If you truly are pro-black, you understand that the one thing that motherfuckers got going for them right now is that people got a level of sympathy for your story. And there's a lot of people that help us as a people. A lot. But I'm telling you, when you start making it violent everywhere and people start looking at you in a different way and they start feeling different about being around you, then they're going to create laws that they don't give a fuck about your well-being. They're going to start locking you up at a rate so young and so early that all that cheering and shouting this black talk, you better start telling people the truth that, hey, now is the time that we better change up this whole gang culture and gang and YN culture, because these new sets of laws that they finna come with, boy, they finna be some humdingers. And unless you want your 13 to 15-year-old to get juvenile life sentences and start getting out when they 30 and 40 years old at 13, then you better tell them little YNs to stay their ass in the house and start picking up something better to do than a gun. I'm telling you. This new set of rules that's finna happen is finna be, it damn near finna be illegal to say gang. I'm telling you. Wait till they hit that Congress floor this time. See, y'all think it ain't finna be no new Joe Biden. There's finna be a new Joe Biden. When they gave that speech at the Senate floor full of numbers and talking about numbers and how people were this, it's gonna be a new Joe Biden that hit that floor with the same numbers. And wait till you get a load of what he say. Wait till you get a load of how he delivered a message. I'm telling you, these new laws gonna be a problem.
and the mom had come and put down $1,000 to let him out. It's not about cashless bail or no cashless bail. It's about the fact that we don't know how to deal with people who are hurting in the way this man was hurting.
Well, again, in an ideal situation, when you talk about having a bail, again, this guy has shown that he is a possible threat, right? And who knows, being mentally ill, he might not show up. He might not show up to court, right? Who knows what this guy might do? I think that bail is warranted, right? A cash bail is warranted, and I'm not talking about just $1,000. But again, the real issue here is that he had been diagnosed as a mentally ill person, and he had a history of violence, and nobody did anything about it until it was too late. That is the real problem here, okay?
Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible, but it becomes an opportunity for people to jump on bandwagons. And then for someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him. What people mentioned is the horror of what happened to this young woman.
Again, in any other situation, is black, blackity black. You can't stop hearing the word black, okay? In any other situation where the narrative fits, you won't stop hearing about black this, black that, black victimhood, white supremacy, white nationalism, white man. That's what you'll hear all day. But when the narrative doesn't fit, all of a sudden, why are you talking about race? Why are you bringing up race? Even though, again, on video, the suspect is making it about race. He said it's about race. I got that white girl. Seems to me to be about race, right? That there's a racial component to this in regards to why he did this. So,
Dang, Charlie Kirk passed away? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Shot him in the neck out of college. An educational institution. You're going to give them every justification that they need to have every crackdown and sanction that they need. Woo! This is gonna be bad. All this killing going on, people challenging the president, threatening the president not to come to certain places. This boldness that we seeing from civilians, man, they finna put some crackdowns on your behind. And don't say I didn't say nothing. Don't say I didn't warn you. Because we done got so cocky and arrogant that it's a shame. It is a shame. Let me find this other one. Let's look at this one. Let's see. Let's go to this one first. Let's end this one. All right, what number this is? It's 36. Let's look at what this news station said about it, because we got the mayor on this one. The mayor of North Carolina commented on this part. So let's get their commentary.
And according to the corporate media, Republicans and their conservative allies in the media, shows like the corporate media.
Man, when one of them white senators see this, boy, see her shirt hanging off right there like that, boy, it's going to be on. That's a new law right there, boy. That's a new law, I'm telling you.
Republicans and their conservative allies in the media, shows like this, are exploiting the death of Irina Zarutska, the innocent 23-year-old who was murdered on the light rail in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. But I don't think that's what we're doing. In fact, we don't think that's even close to what's really going on here. In Chicago this weekend, 7 more people were killed, and we aren't celebrating the fact that that happened. Like so many Americans, we're just wondering why. Why the bloated governor of Illinois won't admit there's a problem in Chicago. Donald Trump posting on Truth Social, 7 people were murdered in Chicago this weekend. meaning that over the past several weeks, 50 people have been killed. And Governor Pritzker just said he doesn't want the federal government to help. Why? What is wrong with this guy? And we think that's at least a reasonable question at this point. Back to Charlotte. More of that video coming out today. Gut-wrenching. 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska slaughtered by a man named DeCarlos Brown on a train by someone who never should have been on that train. DeCarlos Brown had been arrested at least 14 times before. Here are his 14 separate mugshots. Think about that. And after he was released from prison early in 2020, he was diagnosed formally with schizophrenia. But if you are a Democrat, these are the people that you want wandering the streets of your city, people like this.
DeCarlos Brown has been charged with crimes no fewer than 14 times, dating back to 2011, including for armed robbery, felony larceny, breaking and entering, and shoplifting. Brown had previously served 5 years in prison for a robbery with a deadly weapon charge, and he had also forfeited bonds 3 different times, twice in 2014 and once in 2023. Despite all of this past documented criminal history, when Brown was arrested yet again in January of this past year, a Democrat judge, who I will add was a strong supporter of former Vice President Kamala Harris, released this insane criminal once again without requiring him to pay any bail. He simply had to sign a written promise to return for his court hearing.
Yeah, he didn't do that. DeCarlos Brown never should have been on that train. And this ebbs on crazy. But according to Democrats and the corporate media, this is another case being used by those evil MAGA Republicans to push their anti-crime agenda. Like somehow being against crime is a bad thing in this country.
Horrific new video of a Ukrainian refugee's murder caught on camera. It is absolutely horrific. Trump is now seizing on this to push his nationwide crackdown.
That is insane. If my producer told me to do that, I wouldn't read the copy. That's how crazy that is. But if you work at CNN, you read it and you lie. The media are so upset that there are cameras out there on the streets as well. Cameras on the streets, in stores, on trains. And all these cameras are recording these brutal crimes. Mark Caputo, writing about this in Axios, quote, "The rising number of surveillance cameras in public spaces, including on Charlotte's light rail, has become a big accelerant in these cases," meaning the media are more upset that the murder in Charlotte was recorded than they are about the actual murder itself. Think about that. Caputo went on to say that MAGA influencers are drawing repeated attention to violent attacks to elaborate and elevate the issue of urban crime and accuse mainstream media of undercovering shocking cases, to which we say we aren't accusing the mainstream media of undercovering this story. We are accusing them of not covering this story at all. And
have y'all seen it on those channels? Is it true that they're not covering the stories, or is it made up? Is it true or is it made up? Is it true or is it made up? Said crime been horrible since I was born 43 years ago. Now they are? Okay.
Till they were shamed into doing so today. As of yesterday, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, CNN, and MSNBC had yet to cover this story even a single time. Not once. The story of a black career criminal with schizophrenia brutally murdering a 23-year-old blonde Ukrainian refugee. That's not an accusation. That's a fact. And the media aren't covering this story because of the races involved in this story. Reverse them, you've got yourself a story. If you work at CNN and a black man kills a white woman, we're sorry, that's just not a story over there. It's also bizarre that Democrats, of all people, have suddenly abandoned a Ukrainian refugee. We thought Democrats loved Ukraine. I seem to remember Democrats waving the Ukrainian flag after we passed yet another spending bill, sending billions of dollars to Ukraine to stop Ukrainians from being killed. That happened on Capitol Hill, here. That wasn't in Ukraine. I guess Democrats don't care as much when it happens here, in places like Charlotte. They only care about Ukrainians dying in Ukraine, not North Carolina. The Democrat mayor of Charlotte, Vi Lyle, after hiding the video of the murder from the public for more than 2 weeks, put out a statement where she can't even say Irina's name in one of the most bizarre statements we have ever seen.
Wait, so this happened 2 weeks ago? They've been hiding this for 2 weeks? Oh, Lord.
from a politician. Quote, first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to the young woman's family and friends. This is a tragic situation that sheds lights on problems with society and safety nets related to mental health care and the systems that should be in place. While I do not understand the specifics of the man's medical record, what I have come to understand is that he has long struggled with mental health and appears to have suffered a crisis. Yeah, I'll say. This was the unfortunate and tragic outcome. Charlotte is by and large a safe city, but tragic incidents like these should force us to look at what we are doing across our community to address root causes. We will never arrest our way out of issues such as homelessness and mental health. I want to be clear. I am not villainizing those who struggle with their mental health or those who are unhoused. Also, those who are unhoused are more frequently the victim of crimes and not the perpetrators. And we as a community must do better for those members of our community who need our help and have no place to go. Give me a break. This woman doesn't want to villainize the killer. We can't arrest our way out of the problem. Actually,
we can't arrest our way out of the problem is not something that people want to hear after their family members get slaughtered. I think that's exactly what they want to hear from people who are in position to do something about a crime. We want to hear that they're going to do the rest of their life in jail. What are you talking about? Some people might even think worse. What do you mean that you can't arrest your way out of it? Everybody done went woke, boy. Everybody woke as hell, boy. Now, I guess a part of being woke is making sure that you soft on crime one way. I think that's being woke. You a coon, you a racist, you a whatever if you call out all crime. That's what I think. Sound like ADHD too? Woke all over the what? Repeat offenders barely acknowledge the death.
we can. If this man was in jail, this wouldn't have happened. But this man was also unhoused, which is just a foolish way of saying homeless. Democrats love to change the language. He was unhoused. Well, yeah, he was homeless.
Unhoused? Wow. Planned Parenthood, all these little funny names that mean something totally different. Or try to sweeten it up and make it sound good. Unhoused. He was unhoused. You're not homeless, you're unhoused. You're not naked, you're without clothes. This is crazy, B. He's unhoused. Look here, girl, I'm not homeless, I'm not poor, I'm unhoused. Do you have a place to stay? Yeah. Right, but right now I'm unhoused. How stupid you would sound in real life. You can get away with anything in 2025.
Because the Democrat mayor of Charlotte would rather talk about root causes, another made-up term. Remember when Kamala Harris said she was going to look into the root causes of illegal immigration? How'd that work out? After all of this happened, GoFundMe had to start taking down accounts trying to raise money for the killer, DeCarlos Brown. One account's stated mission was that while what happened on the Blue Line was a tragedy, what we must not lose sight of is the fact that DeCarlos Brown was failed by the judicial system and the mental health services of North Carolina, and as such, is not to blame for what happened, and people were actually donating money to that GoFundMe page. And that's what life is like for people living in so many of these Democrat-run cities, something the president addressed today.
24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors.
50 people. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people. 4 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors.
My hand got stuck, guys. I'm sorry. 24 out of the 25 top most dangerous cities are ran by Democrat mayors. When I told y'all that the most dangerous cities for black men are Democrat ran cities, because if you look a little deeper into that study, the people who are dropping in those cities every night, they black. They look like us. Because we have a society that trained our young men and women that you a real N-word if you unalive an N-word. You got people out there playing Hunger Games with each other and saying, yeah, we are real N-words. That's real N-word. So when I hear a lot of people talk like that, it's just crazy because we try to hide that truth that we love the unalivers in our society. We love them. And if you talk about them, you talk against them, they'll get on you. Because we love the unalivers, or we too scared to say something about them. We'll blame anybody else but them. We'll call out anybody else but them too. We'll call out anybody that we could think that we could just get away with calling out, or we'll call them out. But no, not so much anybody else. We got one more for you. Well, we got a couple more for you if you want to hear it. We got these young ladies can't go to work. These young ladies cannot go to work, and I think I need to say I agree. And y'all tell me what y'all think. These girls are too fabulous, and they too unalive is another word. Laugh out loud. It is, and that's what YouTube can accept. But we know what it means. But I just want to let y'all know these ladies cannot work. You know what I mean? She said she can't work. Salute to the brother. This is a righteous perspective. This is the original content. But this young lady cannot work, and she can't work because she don't have the time. Okay, she's being a full-time parent. She's raising her kids in the right way. But she found time to have another kid. She did do that. She found time to have another kid, but she don't have time to work because now she got another kid she got to take care of. So y'all just tell me, do y'all agree with her or not at the end of this video?
Why I can't work? I can't work because I have kids. Not that I don't want to work. I want to work.
There you have it. I know what you thinking. I know what you're thinking before you say it. Okay, we get it. Most of you think that, hey, if you're going to have kids, then you must have a job in order to take care of those kids. I get it. That's the way you think. It's different strokes for different folks. You understand me? Hey, Adrian done fell out the bushes. I'm at a loss for words. This shit ghetto. Adrian, a member for 23 months. Salute to you, man. Hey, but I know what you're thinking. I know. Immediately your mind went to, girl, you need a job. That's why you need a job. You got to take care of them shoulders. You got to take care of your churn. So you need a job in order to do so. I get it. That's what you should think normally. But you got to hear her out. You haven't even heard her perspective yet. You're passing judgment. All I'm asking y'all is to have an open mind. Let's hear the lady out first, okay? Let's hear her out.
Y'all want to know why I can't work? I can't work because I have kids. Not that I don't want to work. I want to work. I want a job. I want a routine. But I have kids and no support system. I moved to a completely new state away from all of my family so that I can be in a better situation And these are the steps and processes that I have to go through. So with that being said, applying for jobs is not easy. I have this big of an availability, and a lot of jobs don't like that. So when I'm going through the hiring process and we're going through availability and all of these things, and when my window is only 3 or maybe 4 hours where I can work, or initially I couldn't establish secure childcare. Yeah, I had a voucher, but I had a newborn infant, breastfed infant at that, where it's not easy to just leave my baby with anybody just so that I can meet all of y'all's standards and expectations. No, I'm going to continue to do what's best for me and my children and make sure they're good. If you don't like it, it's fine. God is on my side. And that's all that matters. So now when things change, when I can find
Oh my God, man. Why did she make that face? What the? Why are you acting like that, lady? God got me. What is all that? What is all that? What is all that? Obviously, you on government assistance, so more than God got you, the tax base got you too. Secondly, why haven't you learned after your first child? It sounds like you got 2 kids. Number 3, why would you move into a city? It sounds like you chasing some peanuts. Cause why would you move to a different city away from the help? Why would you move to a city to say you're making it better on yourself, but it sounded like you made it harder on yourself? Why would you do this? It sounds like somebody need to tell you that your decision making suck. You're having children that you can't afford, that you don't have time to take care of. You saying you're going to do what's best for your children. What's best for your children is for you to get yourself together and get right and get independent, and then you could be better for your children. That's what's best for your children. But she think what's best for her children is to stay on welfare, have somebody else take care of her every decision, have more children, and just be a bigger burden on society. Where the father's at? Oh, yeah, they come around, hit it a little bit, hit it up, smack it up, rub it down when the baby sleep, and then they go. Oh, look at her. I mean, just saying.
secure, fine. God, continue to do what's best for me and my children and make sure they're good. If you don't like it, it's fine. God is on my side. And that's all that matters. So now when things change, when I can find secure childcare that I trust and my child and me are ready for her to go to daycare, then hey, when my kids, when I can get my kids in the after school YMCA program to open that availability, then hey. But until then, being a mother just doesn't allow me to work right now. And I'm doing what
this is gonna hurt some people's feelings because they always like to be a group and join into this. But it's sad that we have a sector of women that think that they're strong and think that they're powerful, and they have all of this attitude and all of this pizzazz. But the truth of the matter is, they have this pizzazz and this attitude because the children are raising the parents in this situation right here. Without this child, she would not have a house. Without this child, she would not get free lights. So that it's sad that we're creating a situation to where the kids are raising the adults now, because the adults are not established enough to be able to take care of a child. Now you're getting all of these things after the child. This is the direct definition of the cart before the horse. Most families put together money and put together a home environment and get ready and prepared for a child. These ladies are able to just go out and have sex with anybody, pop out a baby, and then now they get put in position to be treated like adults when they wasn't even adults before they had these children. They didn't show that they could take care of themselves But now all of a sudden they're supposed to show that they can take care of some children. And we're propping this up and making this seem like this is the best thing in the world to do. And we wonder why these young boys are trying on their mama's dresses and acting like girls when they're being raised like this, with this woman with so much attitude and ego, even though in actuality she can't afford her own life or her children's lives. Somebody else is paying for it, and she's not even humble enough to accept that with grace and to come on camera and look like something and act like she got some sense. But she up here, God got me. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who raised this bullshit? What is wrong with you? You have no sense of pride that this is not the way you want to purport yourself. And if you say that, you a coon. If you say that, you do. Like, no, my mama ain't raised you to act. My mama wouldn't raise none of my sisters. No, you couldn't even be around my mama acting like this. Like, what the hell? She slapped the living shit out of a girl who acting like this. This is not cool. Nobody should act like this. You're getting help. That shit comes with some humility, not a badass attitude. Who gonna want to help you if you acting like this? You getting free shit with a bad attitude. God got me. What? This is crazy. And instead of us telling the truth about this situation, we champion this. We'll try to hide the truth. We'll try to raise this up as some strength, when the truth of the matter is she would not have any of the things that she got if she didn't have a child. That is backwards. Just think about that, y'all. Everything she got come through the child and not come through the mother. These kids are now raising their mothers. This is sad. Some, not all.
What's best for me and mine. So if you don't like it, that's fine. But just remember, we could all be in my shoes. Any day, anytime.
They can't all be in your shoes. There's women out there that do not just go out and get knocked up. There's women out there that make men use protection. There's women out there that use birth control. There's women out there that are strategically not having babies so that they can retain a level of wealth. And that's one of the ways that you go broke. And nobody don't even want to talk about that. That's one of the ways to raise up in poverty with having a bunch of kids you can't take care of. It should be looked at as a form of child abuse instead of a form of strength. Raising these kids in these situations are not going to turn out well for the vast majority of them. It's not. Unless you can run and jump and make it that way, then you have most of them go where? This is not cool. We got to start looking into this situation with this immature type of woman is over a child, because then she's going to put out an immature child who grows up to act like this. A kid learns things from their parents. This is learned behavior. So what do you think that this kid is going to learn from her? This kid is going to have an overinflated ego. They're going to think that being on welfare is not, and not working is the thing to do. They're going to see that their mother is able to pay bills without having to leave the house to do nothing. They're going to also see that there's a kid here, but she's still able to pay bills. So that little girl is going to probably repeat what her mother did. And a little boy is probably going to find a girl kind of like his mother that just got kids where he can stay at and be taken care of just like she took care of him. It's crazy. This is a cycle that just never ends because they think this is help. This is what help look like. And it ain't.
Love y'all.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Goodness. Man. You see these women, they put themselves in this position. And, some of you guys up there will say, but the men. But at the same time, what we do know is that one out of wedlock birth, okay, maybe, you were young, you get a pass, but multiples with no plan, no real plan on how you were going to provide for these children is a problem. And you're sad.
Oh, it's a real plan already. Get on government assistance. It's already a plan. It's been years in the making.
My my God, what me and my kids gonna do? I only got $60 in my food. They come out food stamps to $60. What me and my kids gonna do? Like, that's crazy. I looked at my thing, it says $60. What is that? I got about 6 kids. What is that gonna do, $60? Like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like,
And she talking about a spades game? Shit, I got about 6 in the possible in books. But she said she got about 6 kids. Is it 6 kids or about 6 kids? How you have about kid? I got 5 and about. I got 6 in a about. How many books you got, dog? I got about 1, 2, 3. I got about 6. She said she got about 6 kids. This is no heat, no judgment. This is no diss at nobody. But she said she got about 6 kids.
I am so tight right now. I really is pissed off. Pissed off. Like, and my public housing, like, what I'm finna do? I done got an eviction letter. Like, what am I finna do? I was living 3 years rent-free. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what am I supposed to do now?
So 3 years.
Did I hear that correctly? That she had 3 years rent free, and she asking what was she supposed to do now? Oh, I ain't hear that correct. Let me go back and hear that again. 3 years rent free. Let me hear that again.
My public housing, like, what I'm finna do? I done got an eviction letter. Like, what am I finna do? I was living 3 years rent-free.
She like a grown baby. 3 years rent free. What is all this shit for? What? She like a grown child. This woman is raising 6 kids. This is a goddamn on shame. Because anybody in their right mind know what you should have did 3 years ago while you were not having to pay rent. What the hell was you doing with the money? Was you probably going to the club, turning up every night? What were you doing with the money that you were saving by not paying rent? Because if you didn't pay rent for 3 years, then you should have been able to do, on average, the average rent is about $13,000 per year in the hood. 13 to 18,000 depending on where you live. 21,000 in some states. The poverty line changes in whatever states you are. So if you're saving $21,000 a year for not paying the rent, where did you put that money at? What did you do with it? You wasn't saving up for a rainy day. You wasn't in the stock market trying to flip it. Like, what were you doing with that? Because if you didn't have to spend the money, then you could save the money. So if the government allowed you 3 years, no rent, what was you doing with the money? Or was you not even getting up trying to go make no money? They talking about brought seafood balls and dinger. Oh, shit. Oh, my
Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what am I supposed to do now?
So 3 years rent free, food free, health insurance free, dental insurance free. And you hadn't made any steps toward improving your life so you could come off this, take care of you and your family. How is that our fault?
Kids.
It basically feel like, don't ask no questions, just get the money. That's how I feel. They just pimping us. We might as well not work and just make up the government take care of us too. I might as well just say fuck it and pump out kids and live with a woman with 8 kids and eat up all the snacks. Ain't nobody shouldn't work hard. They look like they just want to give other people money. So why the hell we need to work hard? We need to have babies make bad decisions and get rewarded for it. People with people that have the most kids with no job get the most stuff in their grocery buggies. I remember when we used to walk by with 4 or 5 grocery cars, nigga, chilling. We were doing the Young Jock back then with them food stamp books. Yeah, pushing them damn buggies. Shit, people that work, they got a pension. We can get bread and milk this month. I get paid next week. I only have $100 left for groceries and gas. And I need 50 for gas. Shit, we be drinking the juice in the stove, eating the cookies open, busting the cookies open. We got enough in this booklet. We straight.
But you'll be all right.
You can sit up and say that a woman on welfare shouldn't keep having kids because she's on welfare, but yet you're not on welfare and you keep having kids, but yet the daycare is raising your kids. Don't even raising your kids, but you use the excuse that you have to go to work. You just don't want to take care of your kids. Tell the truth. That's what it is. You don't like being around your own kids. So you keep on having them, probably for your husband or whatever your reason for keep having them kids. You keep on having them kids, but you ain't raising them kids. Somebody else raising them. And then you say, oh, I have to go to work to take care of my kids. You're not taking care of them. Somebody else taking care of them. You're financially supporting them. That's it. You're a financial provider. That's all you are. You're not a mother. So stop trying to make other women feel bad for their choice. At least they taking care of their kids, whether they on the government assistance or not. They raising their kids. Their kids gonna be okay. Yours, on the other hand, all you gonna ever say is you gave them some money, and they're gonna still resent you when they're older.
You keep it a buck. The women that are quote unquote stay-at-home moms on the government dime, are they raising better kids or worse? Because a lot of those kids, they seem to just repeat the cycle. They repeat the cycle.
I can't believe what I just heard. So a woman with no job that can't take care of her kids, that's just with her kids, that if the government stopped giving her something, she has no place to stay, no money for her kids, is going to diss a woman that goes out and work and does what she has to do. Therefore, at least nobody can take, because you got to have a home for the kids to have a home. You got to work for them to have a home. So she wants to compare it to being better, that the government actually controls her to where if they come in with another round of vaccines, her kids would have to take it or she get out. Her kids have to be subjected to all type of things and be placed in neighborhoods that maybe she don't even want to live in. She's saying that's better than the mother who goes out and work so that nobody can affect their kids' education. What about the mother that goes out work, put a kid through private school, sacrifice for their baby, and they might be a single mom, but they working and doing the best, and they raise some strong kids that's out there doing their thing. She says it's better just to be home and on welfare. Got to be more careful. It's very obvious that most of these people are stuck in a poverty mentality. They fail to realize that the more you depend upon others, the more you face disappointments. Exactly. That's crazy. And Charlie Kirk, it's been announced that he gone. So that's sorry to hear that. It's crazy out here, B. Hello from Knoxville, Tennessee. What's going on?
Like, what are we talking about? And you think it's a flex that you're on government, but other women are having to put their kids in childcare? Or other families are having to put their kids in childcare? You think it's a flex because you get to stay home? I mean, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Seriously, some people need to put the phones down. Everything doesn't need to be said. You sound crazy. You thought you was flexing, but you sound crazy. Everybody don't need to be on social media, man. I mean, I get it. You know, I get it. And it's useful. It is. It's useful for a lot of us because we see y'all and we talk about you. But, you know, everything don't need to be said. Sometimes you should probably watch that video 3-4 times before you click post. You should probably do that because you thought you could, but this didn't hit the way you thought it was. Seriously. Hey, at least she did something with her hair. She took the bonnet off, you know, but Let's hear what she has to say.
So y'all on here talking about y'all so tired, y'all big mad, y'all some working class people, y'all tired. I got 6 kids and I was only left with $60 and y'all mad about me and my 6 kids and $60. Y'all talking about y'all work, y'all did all this working and still struggling, talking about, oh, I worked, I did this. Then you talking about, oh, my mama had 5 kids and worked in the bar and didn't ask for help, and we are so tired, like so tired, like a whole big chunk of your money is taking care of me and my kids, like a big chunk, like y'all real like tired. Like, how y'all so tired like that? Like, you're real big mad. Like, they really going off in the comments at me. But 8,000 comments talking about, like, I really don't understand why y'all so mad at me. Like, why are y'all so mad at me? Because I got 6 kids and I was left with only $60 of food stamps. Like,
No, they mad at you because you got 6 kids and you expect somebody else to take care of them. Like, you have no sense of responsibility, that this is your responsibility, that like somebody really got you thinking you can have 6 kids, which you had, and you really look forward to other people take care of them. Now it's not help no more, because help would have been the first one, help would have been the second one. Now you just take advantage of the system. 6 kids that you cannot take care of is child abuse. You didn't even pick right fathers. If you did, you don't, something ain't right. 6 kids? What about birth control? It's gonna make you fat. What about anything? Condoms. What about what? Lord have mercy.
y'all telling me you need to go back on your back and, oh, why would you even have kids? You can't even feed them. What? A child is a blessing. A child is a blessing. You was ever told a child is a blessing? Like, come on, y'all real big man. Y'all doing y'all big ones in the
Yeah, but you making a child a curse. A child ain't a blessing unless you could take care of it. Your child is becoming our nightmare because you're making us take care of it. So it's not a blessing to us. It's a paycheck. It's a tax. It's a tax to us. It's not a blessing to us. It's a tax. You got to make your child a blessing to you by being able to take care of your child. Because I don't know you and I don't know your child, and I don't think everybody in the state know your child. So that's not a blessing. That's a bill. Your child is a bill to everybody else that don't have nothing to do with your child. So what are you talking about?
comments though. Hey, I really don't know why I'm getting so much hate. I really don't know why. Why are y'all being so?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but the reason why you're getting the hate is because you're on here talking about how you're on the system. You got 6 kids, no conversation around the children's fathers. I'm jumping out here and making an assumption, but I'm assuming that the children don't have the same father. And in the day and age where there is 1,000,001 ways to keep from getting pregnant, condoms would have, prevented this particular post in general. I mean, what are we talking about? Seriously. And then when you put your business out on the internet, you don't get to choose how people respond. You don't get to choose how people respond. Now, I'm a firm believer, having kids and having 6 kids are a blessing, but you should be responsible to pay for those blessings. You should be responsible to do that, not us, not the taxpayers.
Oh, she ain't hear that part, homeboy. She heard that ratchet areas. The kids are a blessing. The kids are a blessing because guess what? They get that check and they blessed every time, the 1st and the 15th. Kids are a blessing to mothers that don't want to get off their ass and work. The kids are a gift they keep on giving. The only time they ain't a blessing is when they age out. And that's when they kick their ass out. You see, if you notice, in our community, most ages that we kick our kids out, it's that old age, 18 years old. Why is that? Is the kid more ready for life? Is the kid ready to grow up? No, it's just the kid is going to eat up all the goddamn food and ain't no check coming in for him no more. Hell no. Can't stay here no more. I guarantee she would have watched a working single mother child for free. Yeah, she wouldn't. I don't think so either. Salute to you, Inner Energy. 42 monks. Yeah. Then they become a burden. Yeah. After, I guarantee you, she won't let any one of them blessings stay after 18 years old. I guarantee you that. She ain't gonna say, "Oh, y'all can stay with me," because she gonna be trying to find a place to stay. Notice her. After 18, I guarantee you ain't there one of them. She gonna look at them as a blessing. You need to get your shit together. She gonna be talking to all her blessings just like that. Her lying tail.
And I get it. You're having a hard time. I get it. Life is hard. Life has always been hard. But I will say that those of us that are living in this day and age, we don't have it too bad. Most of us have running water. Most of us have electricity and air conditioning. I'm talking about those of us in the United States, not those in other places around the world, because I know there are some places around the world, where what we consider normals, normal benefits or amenities. I know a lot of those folks consider it luxuries. But we're in the United States of America, and you have people like this who are upset with their choices. And the question that a lot of us have, I know the questions that I have, is where are the children's fathers? Why are, and if they're not doing anything, why did you choose a guy that wasn't willing to take care of your children, that wasn't willing to take care of you?
Man, do you think a guy gonna sit around that woman with her clothes on? Man, he'll be a fool. He probably already kicking himself in his behind that he left it in there. But let alone stand around this girl with her clothes on. Nah, that ain't happening. The way that girl talk, only men come around her when she ain't got no clothes on. She can't have no conversation, not no real conversation. Just listen to her.
That old adage of marry before you carry is a real thing. Now, I'm not saying that marriage is foolproof. We know our divorce rates in this country, are right around 50%. But when a woman gets married, and let's say, for instance, the dude gets a wild hair in his butt and he leaves his wife and his children, the people tend to have more sympathy for a woman like that in comparison to a woman that's just out here loose with it, having kids by any Tom, Dick, and Harry, and then expects for the masses to take care of them. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on to all.
I think we got to give some people that act right and get that accountability to come back. I think we done blamed one side for so long that the other side some of them don't take any accountability. It takes two to tango. We got to get back to common sense. It takes two to tango. Can't nobody force you to have no baby, and a woman chooses. You got a right to choose. It's your body, your choice. You choose to have that baby. You need to choose better decisions to make for your child. You need to be having how you gonna take care of it in place, because it is your responsibility. We need to start going back to that old school stuff that them women taught back in the day. Daddy's maybe, mama's baby. If you decide to walk down this baby situation, this is your baby. College is over for you. The fun is over for you. You got to raise this baby. And you can't there ain't no takebacks. When you go down this way, you got to go down this way full on. Don't make your baby pay for your decision. Don't make no man pay for your decision. You took part into this decision. We don't want to have nobody take responsibility for their part in the decision making. It's sad. Raising these little hateful babies and having all these kids grow up with all this hate. Kids can't even enjoy their childhood no more because of this baby mama bullshit. The baby mama drama is destroying these kids. Well, hold on. I got another video for y'all. I think I snapped. I got another. I think I got another. Where is it? Where was it? It wasn't the Charleston White when he left there. It's this one right here. Charleston White went on Anton Daniels. I was trying to find this exact part, but I couldn't find the exact part. But I saw it on this Righteous Perspective channel. So this is the exact piece that I was trying to find that he had. I think he got a good clip because Charleston White was talking about, he really broke down the funding. And I think he did this before and I played it before. But he broke down the funding of where the money goes in your town. It goes to the police department and how you can get government contracts through the police department. And he gonna break it down real well. So I'm gonna let him go ahead.
$1 billion budget. That's damn near military's budget. How they can't control crime. That's why they got all these gangbanging niggas with these programs that's still promoting gangbanging, still doing shooting, that's getting paid like Big U was doing. That's why they had to snatch his ass up, because he was taking the money, funding it to the gang. Nipsey was going to do it. All of them do it in the name of 501c3, community outreach, youth help work programs, what the mayor said. So let me break this down for you. Stop right there. If you want some help and you want some money and you need funding, look to your local police department. All your funding is over there. They like the NFL. They got the contract money. You know why? Your federal government give them all the money. That's why Trump said, if y'all don't do this, I ain't giving y'all no money. All the courts.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man, Wise. And yes, we got to take a look at it, man. Hey, we got to check out my guy, Anton Daniels and Charleston White. Anton Daniels, your favorite content creator's favorite content creator. You know what I'm saying? Dudes be getting it in, man. He's got to be one of the hardest working people on YouTube. But I digress, man. Let's jump into this. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, it's a breakout of gang violence out in Los Angeles.
Trump?
Yeah, it is.
Trump?
Like, literally, it's been 10 shootings over the last 3 days or something like that over in Los Angeles, over on Figueroa and all of that. And they literally had tents over the bodies so that they can try to, I guess, investigate. And you know what's so funny about it? Check this out. So they had the police chief and they had Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, on TV. And they said, so what are you going to do? And she said, we're going to try to deploy more community prevention activists to try to stop this thing from turning
this
out.
is my field of expertise. So I moved to LA. And nigga, I came out there, nigga. I brought all my programs. I had a street life cycle. I had an anti-gang cognitive intervention. I had a self-awareness program for the kids, it's just the moderate kids. So nigga, so this what I found out. Nigga, Nipsey Hussle would go stop their money, so they had to let it get him killed. This is why they took me out to school. This is why Tracy Carter, the VIP program, done got over probably at least a good 4-5 million, homie. So support people, that's a lot of money. Over 4 or 5 years, you get 4-5 million. So nigga, I done watched Pastor Rodney McIntosh go from driving a beat up truck to a new truck, get a new house, he get a new contract with it.
Yeah, I seen that. Charleston White lucky something ain't happened to him at that college because them HBCUs, they chased him up out of there. Said real talk, Eve cursed a woman, but men take the fall because of the lack of acknowledgement. God told Adam, Adam told Eve, but Eve allowed Satan. It was okay.
So homie, so let me just break this down for y'all. This is why they do not want to get rid of crime. All the money that 501c3 gets, your police department gets, your Boys and Girls Club, there's a funding, there's a budget that every state, every city, every federal government got. It's called public safety. Now, California's police department have.
See, here's what I'm doing. I'm not taking accountability for everything this Negro say. Shit, he done talk shit about me. This ain't what it's about, though. What he talking about is he right about this part of what he's saying. And I think he's right about what he's saying. I can put a difference aside of whether I like a person or not, and based on what he's saying is true. And this right here is some game that somebody might be able to use. So that's why I'm bringing it to the stage.
Girls Club. There's a funding that 501c3 gets, your police department gets, your Boys and Girls Club. There's a funding, there's a budget that every state, every city, every federal government got. It's called public safety. Now, California's police department have $1 billion budget. Them had always been billion. When I was there, I think they had like 400, almost $500 million. That's what I was. It's like, God damn it, that's what made me say, man, let me go try to get some of that money.
Mm-hmm.
So they got $1 billion budget. That's damn near military's budget. How they can't control crime? That's why they got all these gangbanging niggas with these programs that's still promoting gangbanging and still doing shooting that's getting paid like Big U was doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they had to snatch his ass up, because he was taking the money, funding it to the gang. Nipsey was going to do it. All of them do it in the name of 501c3, community outreach, youth help work programs, what the mayor said. So let me break this down for you. Stop right there. If you want some help and you want some money and you need funding, look to your local police department. All your funding is over there. They like the NFL. They got the contract money. You know why? Your federal government give them all the money. That's why Trump said, if y'all don't do this, I ain't giving y'all no money. All the courts. It falls under the umbrella of public safety. So that's your courts, your police department. That's under public safety, crime prevention, crime intervention. So the police got $1 billion budget. 600 million belong to the police department. That's a lot of goddamn money.
That is a lot of money.
We ain't really fighting crime. We sitting over here. We sitting in the car. They call us. We come respond. We're not fighting crime. We're reacting to it. We're not being proactive. So we really letting it create. But we all getting paid. We can't run over the overtime money because whoever the captain is sitting on the budget. You know why? Because the captain want to buy us all new police vehicles. We want them new drones up there. We want this new military shit that y'all trying to sell to Russia that we gonna start using just in case for the future. So niggas, they stocking up with the police. So they got $1 billion. They probably only spending 300, 400 million, homie.
That's a year.
That's a year. But they got this $1 billion for maybe 2 years. The money don't go back.
Yeah.
Most of this money is funded by the taxpayers too.
Yep.
Right? So y'all paying for this. So you got the Boys and Girls Club. They might get $2 million. You got another 50 to 20 million that's going to these so-called community programs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, homie, to be helping and ain't solving nothing. Why would you try to solve something? This is coming quarterly, annually, every other year, every year, long as you stay in compliance.
Yep.
Now, every now and then we go peek in the audit. So you got 300 million going to the police department. You got another 50 million going to the community program. You probably got another 100 million going to parks and recreation. That's why all the gangbanging niggas at the park. All of this is tied together. You got your swimming pool. Homie, all of this falls under your public safety umbrella. DPS get some of it. Because most of our crimes, most of our communities are what? Crime ridden, drug ridden. So all of our funding is coming through public safety for gang intervention, crime prevention, crime intervention, because we just don't want to prevent. We need you, community, social organizations, to help us enter crime intervention.
This
So
shit
the
is
crime
a racket,
intervention.
bro.
So not only that, so then you got the funding coming to the schools for the after-school program.
Yeah.
Your Title IV school funded, that some of your public safety money is going to go because we got problems after school that commit crime.
I don't know if I don't know if y'all getting what I'm getting out of this, is that just like with the medicine, just like with anything, they don't want to solve any of the problems. That's why they never get solved. That's why the reading levels get worse. We don't want the reading levels to get better. Why would we want the reading levels to get better? Our program would get canceled. We wanted to still have a reading problem, but we wanted to get a little bit better. We just want to see some bumps in it. As long as we can account for the program, that's all we want to do. We don't want everybody to be able to read. We just want some people to be able to read a little bit better. You know, we don't want to solve all the crime. We just want to, curb it a little bit so we can come up here and yell, the crime is down. Crime is down. They not unaliving people every day. They unaliving people some of the days. That's all we want to be able to yell. We want to be able to account for another program. We invite problems because the solution is a program. The solution to all problems is a program and money. And so they have found a way to monetize through taxpayers. You don't know how to govern yourselves, you're going to pay us to solve this problem. We are the biggest gifts that keep on giving.
No money in cures. I was talking about it on the live stream this morning. There's no money in cures. So Charleston's absolutely right. There's no money in prevention. The police department is reactive. That's why, for the life of me, I don't understand why you have people out here that are anti a Second Amendment, anti you having the ability to own a firearm to protect yourself, because the reality of it is this: when you got seconds, the police are going to take minutes. When you have seconds to protect yourself, to protect your household, to protect your family, the police are going to take minutes. Yeah, they respond. There's nothing proactive about policing in America. Nothing proactive about policing in America. And the reality of it is they don't have a lot of interest in keeping these young people on the straight and narrow because there's so much money being made. I don't know if he's going to get into it because this is a full-fledged first time watching reaction, but there's a full-fledged ecosystem around crime in these communities. Now, he spoke on the budget from the police department. He's also spoke on, these quote unquote nonprofit 501(c)(3) or 501c3, organizations or corporations that are out there. But let's talk about the hospitals. Let's talk about the doctors, the nurses, and all the ER facilities in these communities. Let's talk about the public defender's office. Let's talk about the defense, all the defense lawyers that are in these communities. Let's talk about that. Then you got to think about, the weapons and ammunition and all these things, these cameras that they put up in certain places. He was talking about the drones. There is a full-fledged ecosystem around crime. And that's why they have zero interest in solving the issues that are going on in these communities. And the only thing that the people that live in those communities
I go a step further and say they have zero interest in solving, and I think they have every bit of an incentive to keep problems going, as long as they're contained problems. I think there's a task force to have contained problems. They'll allow you to sell a little something long as it's in this area, long as it ain't a certain type of drug. I think they'll allow a certain level of violence in certain areas because they need it to account for their budget. As long as you don't come across the track with that, then hey, y'all gonna do it anyway. That's just my theory.
Can do is work and do everything that they can to remove themselves from that environment. But let's continue to let Charleston cook.
You got Planned Parenthood. You got all these five. That's why everybody said, man, I'm going to be a nonprofit.
Yeah.
To come eat out this pot over here, homie. So California, just think about what that lady just said. We're going to put more because they can't justify all this money they get.
Yeah.
So they need to make these, they need to create SWAT to go do this. They need to create situations where they have to send SWAT out to justify spending this money because it's just sitting there, homie. You know why? For the most part, black people don't know how to go use it. So guess what they saying? Hey, listen, we've been having $200 million for the haven't come get it. But you don't know the people downtown to go apply for it. You don't know the grant language. You don't know grant writers. So guess what they do? Hey, we can send some of this money over here. The judge will create a program, a new diversion program for the court. We'll put some of this money over here. Man, how much, man? So
It's just literally a racket.
But if you saw
It's a straight racket.
Solve the problem. Now we got to reallocate this money. These jobs is taken away.
So they don't really want to solve the problem.
Homie, nigga, you talking bureaucracy.
That's
so
crazy.
What we're
bro.
talking now is bureaucracy associated with 501c3s in the middle of the problem. Between bureaucracies, your people that's working.
Now you see how we vote the same way every year, 80, 90,000%, because our women go to church. And sometimes our black pastors, the ones that are especially in mega churches, well, they got that 501c3 money. And usually when they align those politicians, and we know which side they come from, and those pastors get up there and aha, and I guess they deliver a message that get, delivered every single time. I'm just saying.
At the food stamp office, a nigga in the motherfucker in the middle of solving the problem, because the people that's trying to solve the problem get to talk to the people that's giving them the money.
Yeah.
That's why only certain people get invited downtown.
Mm.
It's only certain people have certain access. You only know certain people that go talk to this person to apply for this grant that's coming out.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
So
That's
nigga,
insane.
once I learned all that, homie, I said, nigga, I don't need the 501c3. I need to figure out how to create some money. So I started selling barbecue. I started selling fake ecstasy pills that had caffeine in it, that had them niggas jittery. Y'all pressing up fake ecstasy pills. In the police let us sell weed, nigga. I made an agreement with our local police department through Deputy Chief Dean.
Did you hear that? The police allegedly let him sell weed, which is illegal. But as long as he kept it in a certain area, in a certain environment, he was allowed to sell weed.
That we wouldn't have no hard drugs down there, homie. So he let us sell weed. And the police never came to the classy lady and bothered us.
This shit is a racket, bro.
Yeah, he
this
gave me
100% a
me.
racket.
Deputy
man.
Chief Dean gave me a direct homie. He said, "Go tell Pops." He said, "Tell the old man that we don't want to hear that he can't control it." Cause he knew them niggas was selling heroin and all that shit around the building, homie. So when I went down there and started bringing them kids around, nigga, all the nigga that was selling, the nigga Bubba who was selling heroin next door, nigga, I made all them niggas move around. That's why they started saying I was the police. Because nigga Deputy Chief Dean had been on the force for like almost 30 years. And he retired now. Deputy Chief Krause, all of them with me, homie. So he said, man, just tell the old man we don't want no hard drugs down there, homie.
Yeah.
So yeah, nigga. So somebody got to go build a relationship with the police department, nigga, to access the money. So guess what? If they don't like you, they pick their favorite pastor. That's why anytime there's a police shooting, who you think they put out in front of your favorite pastor? He's the next one to get the funding.
Yeah, Brandon Johnson and the mayor of Chicago always talk about he working with the church.
They get that's money talk. That's slick money talk. Anytime you got the pastor with the city official, it's money talk.
Hey, boy, I walked in, the pastor, the police chief, the fire chief, goddamn, it was all the bigwigs, 2 or 3 of the commissioners, and the mayor, all was in the same building. I said, uh-oh. I said, yeah, buddy. It's election time, and he got a couple thousand people in here at a time. So you get a couple thousand of these, get these people come down to the polls. Oh, that's a bunch of people voting the same way. You got a couple thousand people in one building. Now you got a lot of power in your hand. A couple thousand people that's gonna listen to you. So. That's why a lot of politicians are tied directly to these pastors. They don't care that they're not looking for the most holiest pastor. It's just like who got the most followers online. The pastors that got the most in their audience, those gonna be the ones that get the biggest 501c3s, because all they gotta do is get the people in their audience to do what they want them to do, and it's all good. And you can't talk about pastor, and most people listen to their pastor now. Just saying.
And he was doing that during the migrant crisis too.
Money talk.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Because our government, homie, is so much funding involved in this. Homie, it's so much money.
Yeah.
Homie, so much tax write-off. Man, nigga, I was adopted by the Terrence Star Republican Women's Club. They give me my man, nigga. That's why, homie, they heart was broke when I went nigga. Nigga, when I started growing my dread, nigga, they heart was broke when I started saying all that wild stuff about why, homie, I fell from political grace, homie. It was I was ashamed at one point in time, but nigga, but my justification, nigga, I'm doing this for the nigga.
Yeah.
So that's what made me start pushing nigga, homie, because I had felt shame, nigga, like I fucked up, nigga. I should have stayed with white people. I was thinking for a moment.
It worked out.
It did. Yeah, thanks to my nigga. But now, homie, I had some white people. Homie, so that's why they put me in the mental hospital. They had to come see my nigga because I had went to such an extreme, and maybe I had went crazy, nigga. Cause nigga, I was bucking like nigga, I was ready to die. Nigga, that's why they had to, nigga. They had because they like, man, this is not the Charles, nigga. I had went from this character got me put in a mental asylum, homie, because they said, man, something happened, because they thought I was on drugs. So the first thing they did was took my blood. So they said, man, this nigga ain't on drugs. So nigga, they had to tap into this brain, nigga, because the things that I was saying, was too outlandish, and this was new to the internet. So nigga, I spent that 10 days in a mental asylum, homie. So they said, well, it gotta be, man, a nigga homicidal or suicidal by his ideation. So that's what the medical records say: homicidal and suicidal by ideation and preparation.
But yeah, man, y'all got all you need as far as that. I do think that a lot of the stuff that he said was correct. When it comes to the churches, when it comes to the 501c3s, when it comes to all that stuff, I think what he's saying is correct. And I think it's something to be looked into. And it's also something that people who want to change things and people who are always talking about revolution and change, start a program. Be the change in your neighborhood that you want. There's money in your neighborhoods to pay for it. He told you where to get it from. So, yeah, man. They try to profit off the pain, but if you can get the funding to actually change something, then that'll be great. But KB, you not cooking on Kirk Unalive? Yeah, I talked about it earlier. I gotta run real quick. I'll do another live later on. I'm pretty sure there's so many people talking about it right now, but I'll be back live in a few. But y'all have a blessed day. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.